Welcome back to What's Your Take? Real talk on leadership and life. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki, the DBA pharmacist and founder of FitBiz Global Solutions. As we close out this season, I want to emphasize something. We've already taken the pause. A few episodes ago, we intentionally slowed down, not to analyze everything, not to fix anything, but to make space. Space to breathe, space to notice, space to hear what leadership was trying to teach us. And this episode comes after that space. So today isn't about stopping again. It's about asking a deeper question. What became clearer once we paused? This season wasn't designed to give us neat conclusions or perfect answers. It was designed to surface truth through stories, conversations, tension, and reflection. And now, at the edge of this season, we get to look at what stayed with us and why. When I step back and look at this season as a whole, what stands out isn't just what we talked about. It's about what kept surfacing, even when the conversations were different. Across solo episodes and expert voices, leadership revealed itself less as strategy and more as presence. Not in titles, not in credentials, but in moments. In how leaders responded when things were unclear, in what they prioritized when pressure was high, in whether they chose to listen or push through. What became clearer to me is this. Leadership today is happening in complexity more often than certainty. And the leaders who made the strongest impact weren't the ones with all the answers. They were the ones willing to notice what was actually happening within themselves, within their teams, and within their systems. That awareness, not authority, is what shaped outcomes. One of the most important lessons this season, reinforced for me, is that leadership moments don't usually announce themselves. They don't come labeled as critical. They show up quietly, in delayed conversations, in unaddressed tension, in decisions made too quickly or not made at all. And when leaders move too fast through those moments, the impact doesn't always appear immediately. It shows up later, as burnout that feels personal but isn't, as teams that feel disconnected without knowing why, as innovation that stalls, not because people lack ideas, but because no one felt safe enough to slow down and consider them. This season reminded me that leadership requires more than resilience. It requires discernment. Not everything urgent is important, and not everything quiet is harmless. The leaders who made space, even briefly, were the ones that heard what others missed. So, if there's one posture I hope listeners carry forward from this season, it's this: attentiveness. Not perfection, not certainty, but attentiveness. Leadership growth doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from noticing what's been normalized and deciding it doesn't have to stay that way. That might look like, paying attention to how decisions are made, not just what gets decided, noticing who speaks and who doesn't, recognizing when wellness has become an afterthought instead of a foundation. Recentering isn't about reinventing leadership. It's about aligning it with values, boundaries, and impact. And that alignment is ongoing. It doesn't end with a season finale. As this season closes, it's not an ending, it's a shift. We've spent time with leaders operating in complexity, high-stake environments, and evolving systems. Those conversations don't stop here. They inform what comes next. Next season, we'll continue exploring leadership through lived experience, but with deeper perspective and broader questions. Not chasing certainty, not rushing to solutions, but staying curious about what leadership requires right now, because leadership evolves as we do. And staying engaged means being willing to keep learning, even when the answers aren't immediate. Thank you for being part of this first season of What's Your Take? Real Talk on Leadership and Life. As I wrap up this season, I want to take a moment to reflect on the heart behind the podcast. It was created to amplify underrepresented voices, particularly Black leaders, Caribbean professionals, women, and global minority communities whose stories aren't always heard. As the show continues, that purpose remains central. If this season resonated with you, I invite you to follow or subscribe wherever you listen. Share an episode with someone navigating leadership in their own way. And stay connected at fitbizsolutions.com or on social, Instagram at fitbiz.solutions, Facebook at fitbizsolutions, and YouTube at fitbizsolutions media. New conversations return next season with fresh voices, deeper reflection, and room to keep growing together. Until then, lead with clarity, intention, and compassion, and always keep asking, what's your take?